Hello and welcome to LKCS's webinar on our campaign suite product, effortlessly combining direct mail and digital marketing for better results. I am Tim Turzin. I am the Senior Sales Executive here at LKCS. Once again, thanks everyone for joining the webinar today on LKCS's campaign suite product. First off, for those of you who don't know who LKCS is, we always like to talk a little bit about ourselves at the beginning. LKCS is a full-service marketing company. Okay, so we're going to talk about our campaign suite service and how to combine direct mail with digital marketing. But we have a wealth of other products and solutions that cover all kinds of different things. So the screen showing here just shows several other products or services we might have. If you're interested or need some help with something, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call after. We can definitely talk about anything it is that interests you and figure out how we can help you best. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump right in. So campaign suite service, what we're going to be talking about today, is really important because there's 5 marketing essentials that are kind of all packaged and bundled into one, and we're going to discuss as we go kind of why that's really important in this day and age. So the old way of handling direct mail is outdated. Okay, so just going ahead and saying I want to send out however many mail pieces and just send them out and have no backup plan and have nothing else ready is not the smart way to go about it anymore. So Campaign Suite actually is going to seamlessly maximize that marketing impact by operating on that 5-step process instead of just sending out a direct mail piece. So yes, we're going to still do the direct mail and we're going to send that out, but we're going to follow it up with 4 additional pieces. So we're actually going to do mail tracking so we know exactly where the mail is when it's being delivered. We're going to follow that up with online follow-up ads, so retargeting ads showing that same offer or piece kind of all over the place, social media and Facebook, and then call tracking. So we're going to discuss each of those steps in a little bit more detail as we go. But we're not going to do any more spray and pray direct mail campaigns. So we're not just going to send out a bunch and hope for the best. We're going to do some targeted marketing and really kind of go where our audiences are going to go and follow them around. So what we have seen and why we've kind of come up with these solutions is we have found that there are 3 primary hurdles when dealing with direct mail in the 21st century. So some of you guys probably have had some of these problems, but the first thing is it's difficult to track campaign results. Okay, direct mail is an offline method. You send it out and what's really happening after it leaves, the mail house. When is it being delivered? Can we tie anything to it? Is it really helping us? Because it's hard to track it, it's also hard to step number 2, it's also difficult to prove campaign effectiveness. So was that direct mail piece an effective part of the campaign, or could I have done without that and just went with other pieces, or vice versa? So we have to figure out how they all kind of work together, which leads us to 3, is there's no good way to link your offline efforts to the online world, okay, which everything is more digital these days. So we have to be aware of that fact and figure out, how we can marry these 2 seamlessly. So with tracking campaign results, in the past, you would have relied on your front-end staff, your receptionists and tellers, asking people how you heard about us. They would have mentioned that I saw the mail piece. Direct mail 10, 15 years ago was probably one of the only channels or the major channel that you were using. So it was really easy to find out where those leads were coming from. But those methods no longer work. Okay, people do not receive a mail piece and pick up a phone or walk to your branch or walk in the door. Okay, they're going to go online. Right now, I will promise that your cell phones, tablets, or access to the internet is within arm's reach, right? First thing you're probably going to do if you're interested in something is head to the internet and check it out, okay? So we have to be aware of that and kind of follow our crowd, right? So some of the things people do to kind of help combat this, and they're good ideas, but there's some downfalls to each one, so we're going to talk about them all. Landing pages or pearls. Okay, using these, they work really, really well. We use them all the time. We love using them. We're a big fan of them. However, What happens when the visitor leaves without filling out a form or calling? Who are they? How do we recapture their interest and convert them to a lead? Second thing would be our Google Analytics. All right. We love Google Analytics. We use it all the time, but a lot of people aren't sure how to really use the analytics in a beneficial way, right? They see they're getting the increased traffic, but they are not sure what to do with it after that. The last step, promo codes. You see them all the time. People like to use them. I'm kind of indifferent on them, but you see them like the ABC 123 and you'll get the special offer, right? Mention that. People are not going to remember that or keep that mail piece around long enough to help you, all right? That's only going to help the people that are ready to apply or open the account today. If they're going to take action 6 weeks from now, it doesn't help. So you can't tie those things together, so it's difficult. Which leads us to step 2, is proving campaign effectiveness. 15 years ago, this would have been a normal conversation, in the marketing world between, a vendor and their clients. They would have called, said they were, worried about the mail piece, what's going on, haven't seen anything, haven't heard anything. We would have said, hey, go ahead and talk to the front end staff. Have they seen any more calls, any more foot traffic, anything since the mailing went out? They would have found out, yes, they've seen a few things happen. And that's all we had to go on, so it was perfect. Everything's working as it should. I can no longer have that conversation with the client. You would fire me. I'd expect you to fire me if I had that conversation with you, right? We can prove how things are working and where they're at in the process now. All right, so we need to give you that data so that you can actually, work it and see exactly how those leads are coming in, where they're going, and all that good stuff. So number 3, linking the offline efforts to our online world. Offline, direct mail is proven. All right, we love direct mail. I'm going to prove it to you and tell you why it's awesome. But here's some quick stats for you. Is 92% of people are influenced by direct mail to make purchasing decisions. 40% of consumers did make a purchase in the last 3 months because of direct mail. And 39% say they're going to try a business for the first time because of direct mail. But we know that people are going to go online, okay? So the direct mail is what gets them interested, and then they head straight to the website. So we know that we need to do something with those website visitors. And we see that 90% of people who are interested in anything, again, go to that website first. They're not going to visit you. They're not going to call you. They're going online. 96% of unique website visitors are going to leave your site without taking any sort of action. So out of 100 people that we drive to the website every day, 96 left doing nothing. That is a huge number that we need to try to get back, right? We need to get them back to the site, back interested in that product, and to take the final step. So that's what we're going to focus on, that 96%. But first, we're going to talk about response rates. Okay, this is kind of why we like direct mail so much. So on the left, you're seeing the direct mail response rates between 1% and 3%, depending on the list and what we're doing with it. As an industry average across the board. Could be better. On the right, you're looking at your digital channels. Again, industry average. They're tenths of a percent or even hundredths of a percent in some cases. So your response rate is way down on the digital side than it is on the direct mail side. But people love to use the digital side because they feel it's cheaper. It's a lot more inexpensive. So let's break it out a different way. Let's look at our cost per acquisition. On the direct mail side, we're at $19 per acquisition. And on the digital side, we're all over the place, on the low end being about $11, and the high end, being around $50. So direct mail is really right in the middle there. But what I like to look at for those few dollars, let's just point out email at 0.1% and about $11 to $15. It is cheaper, but I have to send out potentially 10 to 30 times more email to get that same response rate. So I'm doing 10 to 30 times more work. I can do the campaign one time, get all the pieces set up one time, and have much better results. So again, we're not saying don't use the digital side. We're just saying we need to marry them together and use them, as one cohesive unit to really drive results. That's where Campaign Suite comes in. This is why we feel this product is really a game changer for everybody. So how it works is we would send out a mail piece, and the prospect would receive that mail piece. After receiving the mail piece, they're going to do what we know they're going to do. They're going to head to the website. Once they hit that website, then they're going to look at the offer. They may take action. They may not. We know 96% of the time they're not. They're going to move on. They're going to start doing their normal day-to-day, business, checking Facebook and wherever else they might go. However, now, as they check those other websites, they're going to start seeing ads with that same graphic design, that same offer, right? Reminding them that you're there for them, right? That offer that you're presented to them. It's going to show up everywhere. Facebook, it's going to show up all across different sites that they're going to, over and over and again. It's going to even show up on their phones. When they're playing games, you're using different apps, all that type of stuff, reminding them, hey, I'm interested in this. I need to go back and take a look. You are all aware of this. You have all seen it happen. I love to use the example of Amazon. Just about everybody uses Amazon. So if you went to Amazon right now and searched a product, looked at it, and left, you will start seeing ads for that product follow you around. That is the same thing here, okay? That's the same thing we're doing. So we don't hear anymore that the campaign isn't going to work, that the calls aren't coming in, and the direct mail doesn't work. Junk mail is not junk if you do it correctly, right? We can prove it. We can actually prove the following things now. We can let you know when the mail piece is actually hitting mailboxes. So you're then able to tell, your employees and staff, hey, we're going to start potentially seeing a little increase in this business. We can tell you how many calls potentially came in resulting from that campaign, how many people visited the website and are now being followed online by those follow-up ads, and how many people left the site and came back as a result of those ads. So again, how it all works step by step. We send a mailing out, all right? Direct mail, again, tried and true, unmatched targeting. That's why we start here. That's why we love it. The digital side is complementary to the direct mail side. The mailing is tracked with a barcode technology. You're already using this barcode technology. The post office made everybody switch to it. We just tap into it so we can tell you exactly where it is. And we're verifying it's being delivered as expected. So we have a nice little online dashboard that shows you this. So again, you can log in and see exactly where items are. Initially, you're going to get a green projected line showing us when we believe those mail pieces are going to hit. And then as the days go by, this pink line will crawl. And most of the time, it follows right on top of that projection. Sometimes there's little differences, but it's usually pretty right on. We then can use a unique phone number to track the number of calls that the mailing generates. Okay. We can actually also record the calls so you can monitor the quality of those leads. Again, nice online dashboard showing you everything. So how this works is we basically tie an 800 number. We would purchase an 800 number for you. We tie it to whatever phone number that you want us to. So as soon as somebody calls that 800 number, it rings through to your office area, whatever it might be, and it starts recording. And it keeps recording until somebody hangs up. And that all gets tracked here. So we can see when people are calling, where they're calling from, the duration of those calls, and then if it's your dashboard, you can actually listen to that recording. We do not keep these. We do not see them on our end. You're the only ones that have access to them. The automated follow-up. When somebody hits that website, we put a tracking cookie on their computer. Google and Facebook are looking for these cookies, okay? As soon as they start seeing those cookies, those image ads matching the campaign's design and offer, that's when they start showing, okay? So you're able to then stay in touch with the leads until they actually go back to the site and take out that desired action. How we're doing this is we're using the Google Display Network and the Facebook Ad Network. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Google Display Network here, because some people aren't familiar with it and don't know a lot about it. So Google basically rents small spots on millions of websites. All right, that's where those ads are displayed. So just like that Amazon example, you're using that same ad space. Okay, that is Google Display Network in action when you're seeing those Amazon ads kind of follow you and appear all over the place, right? So same exact things happening, but some people worry like, well, yeah, Amazon has a huge budget, so of course their stuff's going to show, mine's not. That is not the case, all right? Google would rather show those relevant ads. So if that cookie's there, it's going to show that ad. They don't care how big, small, budget, doesn't matter. Relevant ads are going to appear, so you will not have any problems having your ads seen, okay? What we expect when we're doing this. We see 70% of website visitors who are retargeted with display ads are more likely to convert on the website. So that is something that you really need to think about. Is the website easy to navigate? Is there easy call to actions to drive those sales? Because we realize people are going to go there. But the big number is 26% of customers are going to return to your site through retargeting. So earlier I told you that 96% are leaving your site. 26% potentially are coming back. Are that 26% all taking the offer or filling out a form or application? Most likely not, but they're coming back. So if we can get even one or two of them to do it, our ROI is going to go up, tenfold. And again, we have nice online dashboards showing you all of this stuff in action day to day as it happens. So you're able to see exactly how many people are being targeted with those follow-up ads and how many times those ads have been displayed. How many times they were clicked on each day, how many display ads each day. Same thing on the social media side. The only difference here is on the social media side, we can actually start figuring out male, female, and different age demographics and things like that we know. So you can start clicking on that and kind of breaking it down a little bit if you'd like. So what we see with the benefits is you're going to get a higher return on your investment. By keeping tabs on your mailings with that online tracking, we're not leaving any leads behind. We're going to use Google and Facebook to do the heavy lifting, right? People are going to use Google. They're going to use Facebook. Our ads are going to show, and they're going to keep those leads warm until they're ready to come back and act on whatever it is we're offering them. The sales system, the call tracking, we love it. Now, again, you're not going to get hundreds of phone calls. You're only going to get a handful. But if one person calls and has a question or an issue, there's 50, 100, 200 people that have that same question, concern, or issue. They just didn't call. So if we can tweak that or change it and make things better over time, our process is improving on those few calls we get. So it's a really big benefit. Pricing, people think this costs thousands of dollars. It does not, okay? It is just pennies per piece to any direct mail campaign, and it's all fixed based on volume. So budgeting is very, very easy. I can give everybody customized pricing after. Just go ahead and shoot me an email. We can talk about a campaign, and I can give you specifics. But again, it is not that expensive. You can afford it, I promise. Any other questions or thoughts as we wrap up the end of the webinar? Go ahead and type them in. I will answer them, but again, thank you everybody for joining today and learning about the Campaign Suite service from LKCS.